I have 4 of these wicking containers that I got at, I think it was either Home Depot or Lowe's. And last week I made a bench to sit these on. And today I'm going to turn this barrel into a wicking barrel. But I'm not going to do it the same way I've seen a lot of other YouTube videos where they use some gravel on the bottom. I've got a different method, and I'm kind of reverse engineering this thing here. And I think I came up with a much better way to make a wicking barrel, or any kind of wicking container. Number one, you've got a water-filled tube. It goes down to the bottom, and in the corner here, it actually sits on something so that it doesn't sit flat on the bottom. That way water can get out of the bottom of the tube. And it also has this grate. So the soil sits directly on top of this grate. Well, you notice there's the 4 corners are missing. Well, in the 4 corners, here in the box, there's little dams in these 4 corners. And then you see these little standoffs. So the grate sits on these standoffs. And then these 4 corners, or actually 3 corners, allow the soil to get down into the water. And then the 4th corner is where the water feeds in. And then below the level, I don't know if you can see it right in here, but below the level of the grate is a couple weep holes to let the water out so that it doesn't fill up above this grate. So in trying to duplicate that, what I've done is I started with a barrel, and I've gotten some 4-inch perforated drain line. And you want the perforated stuff because you want water to be able to get everywhere in this thing. And I basically cut a piece that fits nice and snug in the bottom of the barrel, like that. Then I got myself some lattice, just regular PVC lattice from Home Depot, and I measured the diameter on the inside here, and I cut the outside to fit. So this fits inside, and it fits perfectly on top of the drain hose and goes all the way out to the edges. So now I got to get water, or I got to get soil down into the water. So I took another piece of the drain hose and cut it to length, and then I cut a 4-inch hole in the middle of this that this fits in. And I made it so that it's kind of captured by the hose there. And then when you put this in here, it goes all the way down. And now you have a place where the dirt can go and not fall in everywhere, or where you're going to have a wicking action coming up. And then finally, I cut a piece of pipe to use as a fill pipe, but I cut a slight angle on the end. That way when it sits down at the bottom, it's always open. And then I also cut a hole for it in the lattice. Now, these holes are a little too big to hold back the dirt. So the solution was to get a 3-foot by 3-foot piece of weed mat, and I kind of tuck that into the hole. And I cut a small little slot in it to fit the pipe. And basically I've tucked it in here. So it sits on top of the lattice, and it also comes up the edges. So to keep dirt from, maybe getting down the edges out here, I've left a little bit of this fabric to come up the edges, and when I fill this with dirt or the potting mix or whatever I decide to put in here, it's going to cover all this, and we'll pack it in real good in the little hole here. And then we'll fill it up, I don't know, maybe up to about here. And we'll have, which is probably about 7-8 inches or so maybe. And we'll have a wicking barrel. So I thought I'd just take a couple quick minutes and share that on how you can make a wicking barrel without having to fill the bottom with gravel. And we'll do some follow-up videos after this thing gets planted with some stuff to see how it works. Oh, one more thing before I forget. You need the weep hole. So I drilled a weep hole here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the video, but you can see that yellow pen in there. It is below the grate. That's the only thing. You want to have it below the grate, because you don't want the water sitting above the grate on the entire bottom of the dirt surface area. You just want the little bit in the middle to be getting wet. So once it gets there below the grate, fill it up with water, we got a wicking barrel. So we'll do a follow-up later on once we're all done, and see how it works.